So, it is officially over. The Chicago Sky, off the back of a 33-point loss, are now officially out of the playoffs. The playoffs have been set. It is the Atlanta Dream who won today in a pretty big game. So, the Sky really, they were the only one of these two teams that lost. The Dream won out the season. Them beating the Mystics was the big one. They won 3 games in a row to make the playoffs, the Atlanta Dream. And the Mystics almost made it. They were 1 game off after a horrible 0-12 start to the season. But the Dream versus the Liberty, the Dream were up from start to finish. Sabrina Ionescu is continuing her post-Olympics form. Breanna Stewart, I don't think she played in the second half. Did Breanna Stewart play in the second half? No, it's Stewie. Did she play? I don't think she played in the second half. Yeah, Breanna Stewart didn't play in the second half. And they pulled off the win. Marquisha Davis played a lot. Ryan Howard, Tina Charles, Jordan Canada. I don't mind them. These are the team that are going to give it the most interesting series. How did Kalu get on? Kalu played 12 minutes. Her first WNBA game. And that is an interesting one. But for the Sky and then for the Mystics, I just think the Mystics have so much depth. I don't think they've got any of that highest of high level talent. I like Ariel Atkins. Ariel Atkins shot the freaking lights out. I like Atkins. I really like Emily Engstler. Why, Indiana? Why did you let Emily? Have you let Emily Engstler walk that easily? Why did you cut her? And I get it. There was a there are other kind of health issues she's had, but still, she's so freaking good. She is so good. Imagine if she played the Katie Lou role and she'd be on a rookie deal. She's so good. Dolson's continuing to struggle since the Olympic break as well. Julie Van Loo was not great today, to be honest. Sika Kone. Her and Jade Melbourne are the 2 youngest players in the WNBA. The 2 of them combining here for 29 points. Sika Kone might have been the best player on the floor today. You can see averaging 4 a game, but 11, 9, 11, 8, 20 in her last games. And this is as a team, the team is starting to win games and she's balling. She is born in 2002. I think she's younger than Angel Reese. Even though she was drafted in 2022, she is younger than Angel Reese. Same with Jade Melbourne. Drafted in 2022. She is August 18, 2002. Because they're international players, they can come into the league earlier. And she is absolutely balling as well. She's balling she had 9 points, but she's this 6 or 5'10" taller guard who's a really, really good bench player. I wouldn't mind, to be fair, I don't know if she's better than Grace Berger, but I wouldn't mind that type of player on the Fever. But then when we were looking at, they've got Walker Kimbrough as well, so they've just got so much depth. But the Sky really went outside. I get it, this team is just so bad. They had injuries. Dana Evans in what was probably her last game for the Sky ended up as the top scorer. Izzy Harrison with 13 points. Izzy Harrison, I think, is a really good bench big. She's just pretty much overpaid. Thankfully, if you are the Sky, you've got Elizabeth Williams for next year. Elizabeth Williams is brilliant, but I don't know what's going to happen with her, because when it comes to Elizabeth Williams, you're looking and you're like, cool, she's not going to start. She's not going to start, and the thing is that you bring back Izzy Harrison to go with 4 bigs when you don't really need 4 bigs. Diamond of Shields is obviously out. I don't know what story is with Rachel Banham. She cooled off today. Bree Turner's just not a WNBA level player. Mariah Jefferson has really been poor since the trade. People were talking about Mariah Jefferson oh, she's going to make a big impact. She's done nothing since joining the Chicago Sky. And it was a disaster end to the season. The Chicago Sky went in to the Olympic break. The Fever were 11-15 going into the Olympic break, and the Sky were 10-14. There was a half a game difference between the Fever and the Sky. And in the end, the Sky went 3-13 post-Olympic break, with their wins coming against the Sparks again, and the Wings. They only beat the Sparks twice and the Wings post-Olympic break. Albeit, 2 of those wins were by like 30. They won 3 games post-Olympic break, and all 3 were against teams with a combined 16 wins. Like, a disaster end to the year. And I get it, Kennedy Carter was out for a good bit. I get it, Angel Reese was out for a good bit. But, like, this team is so far off being good. And I mean that. They are so far off being good. They need to have a super off season. Like, they're not even close to being good. Like, I think the Dream are like 1 to 2. I think the Dream are decent. The Dream are better than their record suggests, because without Ryan Howard, they've lost like 10 straight. The Mystics started off 0-12 and were 14-14. But they are a super young team with the 2 youngest players in the W who are ascending. And again, they're in the Paige Becker sweepstakes. The Dallas Wings just had big injury issues. Like, all of these teams at the bottom had injury issues. But the team, in my opinion, is in the worst shape in the short-term future. Not really long-term future, because you've got Kennedy, you've got Angel, and you've got Cardoso. So they're 3 elite long-term prospects. But I don't see the Chicago Sky making the playoffs next year. I can see the Mercury dropping out of it again. But for players that are still under contract coming into 2025, Seattle are better than Chicago. Vegas are better. Connecticut are better. Actually, we don't know what's going to happen with Connecticut. They're probably going to be better. The Liberty are better. Indiana are better and have a better future. The Dream have a better future. The Mystics are definitely going to be better next season. The Wings are probably going to be better. Like, I think we're seeing Chicago, if Paige Beckers goes to the Sparks, I think we're seeing Chicago in and around that near bottom slot. Like, if Taurasi comes back and Griner's healthy and Beck Allen comes back and Copper's there, the Mercury are better. Like, we could potentially be seeing the Chicago Sky next season as one of the weaker teams in the W. Like, they really do, because you're going to have to give Kennedy Carter close to a max. And I know Elizabeth Williams is a good player, but I really would try to look for a guard in free agency. But the good sign is that there are players in the 2026 draft. The unfortunate thing is that, like, do they really want to put Flaude and Angel on the same team? It's like, I know there's no actual, like, bad blood there, but, like, do they really want to do that? Because there's some sort of drama. Like, it's nothing major. I think they'll be happy out to play with each other. But yeah, if the Chicago Sky scrape it into the playoffs this year, it would have been like, because they were expected to be 12th, and I think outside of the Sparks, who they were clearly better than, like, the Mabry trade was so dumb. Like, I think with Marina Mabry, they're in the playoffs. I genuinely think if they don't make that Mabry trade, and to say, oh, she asked for a trade, you don't have to give someone a trade if they ask for it. Either way, that is the video. They are officially out. They're officially out of the playoffs. The Dream officially got the 8th spot. Mercury 7, Indiana 6, Seattle 5, Vegas 4, Connecticut 3, Minnesota 2, and the Liberty numero 1.